What you reading? I'm the AC, and I read a light novel called Angelic Killer, Birth of an Angel by Alvis Freeman. Now, this was an interesting book, just full of assassins. There's assassins against assassins, assassins trying to help other assassins from other assassins. Pretty much everyone's an assassin. It's a story concept heard of. I've heard of other things about assassin on assassin violence and whatever. I've never actually read anything myself, and it is interesting when everyone is just killing whoever, or wherever that story can go. And it's not something I really thought about. I'm not always entirely into stories just about killing, and when you hear assassins, that's all it's about. But this story isn't completely about that. Yes, there's assassin-y stuff, but the story actually follows a different path. So, I'll give an overview of the plot. I won't say the ending because people don't like stuff to be spoiled, but I'll say the main things that make this interesting story, what it is. So, there's three main characters that go in this story. First is the main character, Tenchi. His dad was an assassin also, one of the best, and for some reason he's died, and his son is left alone, just traveling, being nomadic. And you see the next character, Alice. She tries to kill Tenchi, thinking he is his dad. Doesn't know why. Eventually, Tenchi has to go and get his katana back from Alice that she took. Eventually, this leads them to Tenchi is kind of spying on Alice. He eventually realizes she knows stuff about his dad. He wants to find out why. Eventually, they start working together because Alice is part of this assassin organization that's led by this guy named Eric. He seems like a bad dude. And Tenchi eventually wants to save Alice from Eric. But it's a hard and complicated process because not only does Eric just seem like he also knows his dad, so Tenchi's trying to get information from that, but Eric's also, threatens Alice by threatening her friends, and that's why Alice is stuck. But Tenchi is still determined. For some reason, he has some kind of connection to Alice. Maybe it's just because she, for some reason, knew his dad. And eventually, Alice is getting these assassin missions. Tenchi starts helping her. She starts looking better. He continues this just mission of infiltrating the base, trying to extract information. Eventually stuff just keeps getting more complicated and complicated, and it can go on. You get to see more of Tenchi and his father's past and where they come from, and that's pretty much how the story progresses and goes on. You can see the end for yourself if you want, even though I usually like checking out the endings first. But not everyone's like me, so whatever. So, what I thought about this book is the story itself is great. The title, eventually you find out, is perfect because Angelic Killer, for some reason, I was thinking, oh, someone who kills angels. When I first started reading this book, based on the title, I thought, oh, this is going to be something kind of supernatural, blah, blah, blah. It's not. But it's more about how Tenchi's name comes from. And he is angelic, and he's a killer. It's probably kind of like, no explanation. But for some reason, while I was reading this and it finally clicked, I was like, oh yeah. No, Tenchi is Alice's angel, pretty much. Even though, when you think of little girls, you think of them more as angels. But, they can have angels too. It's just a random thought I had while reading. And I really liked it. I was like, oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense now. Don't know why I didn't get that from the beginning. But, I don't know. I'm weird. Random things pop in my head at random times. And never really, a lot of stuff doesn't make sense to me until it just is finally there. But, enough said of that. Whenever I first talked to Alvis on Twitter, that's how I found out about his book. He told me, he was like, yeah, he felt it was incomplete. I was, no, like, the story is all there. The story is great. Now, like, it can use more editing, and he said he's reworking on it. Okay, yeah, like the transparency. But yeah, I think the story's fine. Just, if you want to work on it more, you do you. Now, the story has a first-person perspective, but the way it's written, I feel like it could really be good to be interpreted as, like, this is Tenchi's, like, mission logs or his journal. The whole time I'm reading, it's like this is all stuff he's already, or of course, because past. I have a weird way of how I think about past tense that apparently other people don't. But it is. It's like his journal. It's like this is him documenting what he said, and it's like a mission log, and it makes sense because he's an assassin. So yeah, this is something he might keep for himself anyways, even though he doesn't want people to know his identity. So it might just be for him. Who knows? And another reason I think there's not a whole lot of dialogue between characters. There's a little bit. Tenchi, for most of the book, mainly communicates with Alice through messages. Not a lot of... So, yeah, he's an assassin. He stays in the shadow. He's obviously not going to talk to people a lot. So that's another reason this is like a journal. He doesn't have much communication with people. Maybe this book is like his journal. And it's really like mission-based, mission talk. He's like, he does this stuff. He infiltrates this place, gets this information, and he sometimes says, this is what these people said. But, stuff like that. And I thought that was a really interesting thing, just because of the whole assassin perspective. If the consistency for this was to be like a journal, it would make complete sense. It's just, sometimes that consistency isn't there, so I'm not always completely sure if that's what he was intending or not. I feel like, if you watch this, that's an idea you can have. But, besides that, yeah, that's pretty much all I need to say about that. You can read it for yourself and see what you think. But, if you like this video, then actually like the video. If you like the book and have already read it, you have other things to say, go ahead and comment about it. We can talk about it. And if you want to see me talk more about other books, any other topic, because I talk about a lot of stuff, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. But until then, I'm the AC. Thank you for watching, and bye.